The last few episodes of the show have been pretty complex, filled with a lot of different content, different concepts, much longer episodes. This one's going to be a little bit more chill, a little bit more slower, a little bit more just relaxing, a little shorter episode today. I have a kind of idea that I've been thinking about recently in my mind. Again, because of another podcast that I've been watching, I'm taking it from that. So forgive me for my kind of copycatting nature, but I'm going to try and give my own thoughts with regards to this idea that I'm going to talk about. It has to do with just kind of social media and the whole sphere behind content creation. So today I'm just going to be kind of reflecting on these things. Again, very chill, very relaxed, nothing too deep, too serious, just me kind of thinking about a concept and kind of just making my thoughts known with regards to this concept. Tomorrow or maybe next couple of days, I'll make longer episodes, more deeper, more complex, better, more effort really being put into future episodes. Today's just going to be a little bit more of a chill one. So the idea is it was something that I watched on a podcast where it was a while ago actually, and now I'm kind of bringing this back up because it's kind of come into my mind recently after my recent episodes. Like, I put a lot of effort into the most recent podcast episodes. Seven Deadly Sins series, obviously I've talked a lot about it. It's something that I kind of put a lot of effort into, and I kind of look and I see only one view, only a couple of views, and it's like, man, it's sad, man. It's sad. And, call it cope. But then this kind of thing came in my mind where I'm like, yeah, this guy on this show was talking about this one time where there's this tendency all over social media, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, scrolling, or just YouTube scrolling or long form videos. There's this kind of tendency to only watch what actually already has views. So there's this thing where the guy who's making the idea and putting the idea out there was saying that he actually is guilty of it, and I find that I also am as well. When you're scrolling and you see that there's only like 3 comments on a video or something like that, you're watching a YouTube video, there's only 2 views, or there's only like a couple of likes, no comments, whatever the metric that you can see that metric, and there's a tendency that you're not going to want to click on it just because there's not a lot of views. It doesn't mean that it's bad content. I'm sure there is so much good content out there that just doesn't have the traction, doesn't have the views that it should have to back it up just because of the algorithms. So it's kind of become this thing where maybe there is this psychological thing to it, and like the thought experiment, the idea behind it is like, what if all social media metrics were kind of just taken away? That you weren't able to see anything. You weren't able to see likes, comments, views, or anything. And a video's success would truly just be a thing only the creator could see. And basically what makes the videos good would be on YouTube. The thumbnail or the title, the thumbnail and title on YouTube would be what makes a video clickable. And on short form videos, short form content, it would be just the hook or the actual quality of the video. And I personally would think that that would lead to a lot more success from lesser creators, because there are a lot of people that make very good content that just don't get the recognition. They don't get the traction just because the algorithms are just truly rigged. And it is literally rigged against you from the start. You have to get this insane amount of luck. You have to kind of, all the luck has to pool in together for you to get the amount of views that you want, and the exact people that you're trying to target just happen to stumble upon your video and interact with it in the best way, all at the same time, and then one video blows up, and then you could build from there. I've been making content for a couple years now. Unfortunately, I haven't really had that. I've had a couple videos do like decent, and decent maybe when it comes to short form videos, like few tens of thousands of views, and on long form videos with this podcast, a couple times with breaking through the hundreds, one time getting to over 1,000. But I look at my content, I'm like, yes, call it cope, as I've already said, but like I like to think that I'm making good stuff. Like, if there was an audience out there, and if I could just reach the audience right away that are looking to watch podcasts and listen to these types of things and are interested in these types of ideas, I feel like I would find those people, or at least like maybe a few hundred, few thousand. That's all I'm asking for. But not really. Like, it's literally like, if I'm lucky, a video gets like 20 views, right? That's kind of where I'm at right now. The last time I made a video that got over a couple hundred views was when I talked about looks maxing. So really, it's like I have to talk about like the topical, controversial topics to ever make any headway, and I don't want to do that because of my own personal values as a Christian man, as a God-fearing man. I don't want to provoke anger. I don't want to be that guy to provoke anger. I know I'm not perfect, obviously. I've made so many episodes of the show. I'm sure I've said some stupid stuff, but I don't want to be that guy to purposefully go out there and try and farm views by just controversies, doing stupid stuff, calling people out, starting beefs, all that stuff. It would be easy if I did that, but I know that because I've slowly, every time I've kind of just slightly tapped into it, it would give decent results. But I don't want to do that. So I look at my content, I look genuinely like my content's good. I think it's not that bad. I think if there's an audience out there that are interested in that type of stuff, I truly think that they would enjoy it. And maybe I'm being biased, but because I upload a video every single day, there will be some not so good podcasts, but then some banger podcasts. And I really do think that sometimes with me, that is the case. And there should absolutely be, at least in certain episodes, people that are interested, but they're never going to get there. So I wonder about this type of a concept, this type of an idea that if we got rid of all metrics on social media, how videos would do. I think about how my videos would do. I think about the titles I put, the thumbnails I make. Maybe my thumbnails aren't like the best all the time, but I feel like I do a decent job. Obviously, it's like a template, right? It's a template I use. I've changed it up throughout these last 241 days. Today's the 241st day of 365 podcast. I've changed up the thumbnails a little bit, tried to add like pictures and images and things that would make it more entertaining, like more kind of clickable, more popping, let's say. And at times it works, at times it doesn't really work, and I've been experimenting with it. Like I truly think that yeah, like if they got rid of the number of views, they got rid of the number of likes, the number of comments, I feel like my content would do better just because of the fact that it's not bad stuff. And I think the metrics wise, I'm not doing too bad when it comes to that. Maybe I have to be more consistent with shorts posting. Maybe I have to do a different type of thing, like a type of structure when it comes to shorts posting. Maybe that can help, but also at the same time, it's the same types of things with the shorts. They cap off at like 1,000 views, and I'm doing well enough that a lot of my videos are getting to that 1,000 view mark. They're getting past the first cycle, the first push, the first initial thing. Like on TikTok, it's the 200 view jail. I'm getting my videos past that, but not into the next level where then you could have the opportunity to actually be in someone's feed, someone's homepage on YouTube or wherever, right? That type of stuff is not happening ever. And very rarely it would happen for me. Like once in a while, once every few months maybe, and I'm posting every single day. Right? So I think about this concept, and again, it might be cope, but like it's literally like I don't think I'm making bad stuff. And I think that I personally fall into that too. Like I think a lot of people will be exposed if all metrics were just taken away. But I think that's also part of the point. Like that's a point of the algorithms being rigged and purposefully pushing stuff out that the system wants to be pushed out rather than stuff that's actually good for you and stuff that actually is a positive influence. It's going to be tending more towards the negative stuff. And I personally see it in myself that I could be scrolling through some of the best like Jesus content, biblical quotes and motivational speaking, like deep quotes, podcast clips, all that kind of stuff, and then somehow just snuck in there is some sexual thing, right? I didn't even want it, wasn't even trying to look for it, and somehow it's just snuck in there. Even if I'm doing everything possible to go into a good positive direction in my algorithms, it tends to the negative. I really do think it tends to things that are just garbage that aren't useful to people because they want to keep people hooked, and that's the whole point of it all. And I think keeping the views on there and the numbers and metrics on there for other people to see and for the listeners, the audience, the scrollers to see, it helps when it comes to keeping them hooked. Because if you scroll, you see a video has 3 comments, oh, it must be a bad video. You scroll again, oh, 1,000 comments. Like you're doing this subconsciously in your mind, and I think I fall into it, and I think this is actually really true. And it would be interesting to see what would happen. I think maybe I'm not going to say I'm going to go viral, but I feel like I'd get a few other videos, a few other podcasts that reached 100 views just on accident. If I, like more consistently at least, if they were to take away the metrics and I were to just keep posting, keep doing what I'm doing. And I think that's what would happen. I wouldn't go viral, but I definitely have a little bit more traction. I think that's my personal opinion on what would happen. And subsequently, the reverse side, the flip side, there'll be other people that are producing terrible content that will lose a lot of their viewers just because of this. It won't be an extreme thing because at the end of the day, like if your feed is one thing, it will be that thing, and if it is and like the algorithm will push certain videos to you anyway, regardless of the metrics of it, and you'll be willing to watch it. But there will be a lot of people that make garbage content, that the content sucks, the quality sucks, and it will be exposed at least to a certain degree just by simply removing the metrics from it. A lot of people will like look at it and realize, oh, just how bad it is, and realize, oh, it's like I don't need to write a comment here because I don't need like it would be even less of a chance that you even look at the comments, because you look at the comments, you don't even know how many comments are there. You can open it and there's only 2 comments, or you can open it and there's an infinite amount of comments. Sometimes the comments make a video even funnier. We understand that concept, but not knowing what is there, what to expect, it can truly, I think, isolate and filter out a lot of the garbage and literally just kind of prioritize better content. I think that's what would happen. That's my own personal theory, but it is an interesting thought experiment, just something to think about. That it's like this is the way we all use social media. It's like subconsciously you're not even thinking about it, but these things are in your mind. The comments, the views on the video, the likes on the video. Like I find myself often like I look at a video and it's like garbage, complete trash. I like, just for fun. On Instagram, you can click the just under the heart, you can click the word likes and it will pull it up. If the creator has allowed those metrics to be public, you can see the views and the likes. And like then you look, it's like 40 million views. It's like, what the hell? How did this video get to that many views? Some garbage video like that would never get to those amounts of views if those metrics are permanently hidden, because you won't know, right? And only the creator will know about the numbers. And I think that will help. That will help just for us, like as a population. If you're not going to be creating stuff, it will help you maybe scroll or have a better, more healthier relationship with social media, because you'll be watching and optimizing for actual good content rather than just the stuff that's popular, right? And the stuff that's trendy at the time, right? Trendy is a pretty important word, because people will just slap on a trend, copy someone else, and will get a whole bunch of views because it's the trend. But these types of things, if you remove all that, only the creators get to see what the metrics look like. It'll allow us as a viewer to kind of have a better relationship, filter out things better. And for smaller creators, I'm kind of in that category, but also there are many, many other smaller creators, millions of smaller creators that are dedicated, that do post good stuff, that want to have some traction but just aren't getting it. I feel like for them, that would be like a big beneficiary of all of it. But the whole point is that they don't want those platforms. They want to kind of squeeze as much money as possible. They don't want to have thousands and thousands and like exponentially more people gaining popularity. So they want to put as much kind of limits, as many limits, and as much friction in between someone getting popular and someone blowing up, going viral online, and them just staying where they are as possible, so that they can kind of squeeze as much money out there. Of course, because of the algorithms not being perfect, people do get popular over whatever garbage might happen. And I think there's a level where it's like, if you're posting a video and you're posting good content every single day, consistently, same time, always looking at the metrics, trendy stuff, all this type of stuff for like years, then maybe something will happen. But that's how long it will take. For the vast majority of people, it will not just kind of click right away. So I'm recording a podcast every day for a year, but a year is probably not going to be enough. I'd probably have to do this for many years to even have a chance. But the point is, like, I'm not gonna, because it's a lot of work, and it's like it's something that's not anything that is really filled with a lot of longevity. I want to do other things in my life that have more longevity, but this is a good project. It's more of a fun thing, just me doing on the side. That's kind of what this has become. But I think about that concept, that idea of metrics on social media and on YouTube being visible. If they were hidden, it would filter out for better quality content. And I think it would be a positive thing, but they're never going to do it. Like, they're never going to do it, just because there is definitely some sort of psychological subconscious thing that allows these platforms to kind of run the way they are ran, with just the way it is, leaving the metrics out there. But yeah, if the metrics are truly only visible to the creators, it would make a huge difference. That's my theory. Let me know what your theories are. Again, just a smaller thing, an interesting thing to think about. It is just purely cope, because it's like, yeah, like, as much as I don't want to admit it, the show has been not really successful. It's just kind of there. Yes, I'm gonna be just. It's gonna be like a time capsule in some way. I'll look back on some of these videos. Maybe some people individually, like the odd person, every now and again will stumble upon a video, and maybe, from the years going into the future, will use some of this advice that I'm talking about to do better in their life at some point, but it's not going to be anything that ever grows into anything big. And I've accepted that a while ago, which is why I'm trying to focus on more longevity type of things with my life, me personally, what I'm doing. But this is kind of now in the back as like just a fun creative thing rather than the thing that I'm doing, basically. That's the idea. That's the point. So that's pretty much it for this show, for this episode today. Not the show. The show's 365 days. It's a podcast episode every day for a whole year if you didn't know already. So if you enjoyed this one, there are many other amazing episodes. Of course, last few days have been very, very fun, very jam-packed with information and insight and just interesting stuff. So I encourage you to go watch some of the videos. Yesterday's video was very good. 7 Deadly Sins series. It's in a playlist. You can watch that as well. And show your support on this video as much as you possibly can. If you are still here, I appreciate you for being here. The only thing you can do to show your support is by leaving a like, subscribing on YouTube, and following on Spotify if you haven't yet. But if you are subscribed and followed, I appreciate you for being here, for doing that, and for helping the show's growth in the ways that you can. I appreciate you. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, don't focus on the views. I think that's kind of the lessons. Like, if you want to have the best content possible, sometimes the best content is going to be, it's going to be the lower viewed content. I know it's hard because it's the subconscious thing in your mind, but yeah, if you're trying to optimize for good quality content, don't just look at the popular stuff. Look at some of the stuff underground, in between the weeds, in between like the mess and the kind of slop that social media is. And you'll find some very good stuff, and you'll improve your relationship with social media and the way you go about it instead of just kind of being victim and subject to your own personal internal conscious and subconscious vices. You can actually use social media for good to improve and to digest good stuff, higher quality stuff, rather than a bunch of garbage that gets popular just because that's how it goes. That's all I gotta say for today. Thank you for watching. I'm going to keep uploading episodes, no matter how many views it gets. If this video gets 0 views, it's okay. I said I would be consistent with the full 365 days. That's what I'm going to keep doing, no matter how many views these videos get. And it is what it is. It's just an interesting thing to think about. So remember that. Whenever you see a video that only has like a couple hundred views and you don't want to watch it just because of the view number, that video might be a good video. And it might be in your feed for a reason. So give it a watch. Give it a chance. Because you might be surprised with some good content, good guy, good creator that you might find that will be something you consistently watch. You never know. You never know what you might find online on the internet. There's a lot of stuff out there. That's all I got to say for today. I'm going to wrap it up, put a bow on all this. Thank you for watching this episode. Thank you for being here. As always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.